Good. Today is Tuesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday. Yeah, it should have been Tuesday. This tape has been postponed because of certain lighting difficulties. In fact, the camera, would you believe, has been stolen, and we are coming out with adjustments because, ladies and gentlemen, we have millions and millions of followers in Texas, in Nebraska, in Louisiana, in Oklahoma, and the list goes on. Why? Because of one thing. Our level of credibility is way up there. So let me get straight to the point, because our Japanese friends are kind of putting a vacillating flavor on the way I describe the current news and opinions of this particular station, which we call the Prosperity Channel. So, to be very clear, I would like to emphatically say that we are not at all connected with the Filipino crook, the number one Filipino crook by the name of Ben Del Rosario, formerly Executive Vice President of the Gsis, under the leadership of Roman Cruz, and during the time of Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. The number one crook actually is the Del Rosario family, headed by Ben Del Rosario. So the reason for this particular segment of this video is to explain the urgency that the likes of KPMG and other accounting firms should immediately audit the Gsis. According to the newspapers, a couple of months ago, I'm sorry about that. A couple of months ago clearly said that the Gsis had 1.9 trillion and more of assets. That's about $35 billion. And in a span of 9 months, according to the news, this is subject for verification, Wick, Veloso, Del Rosario claims that the Gsis made over 112 billion pesos, not dollars, pesos, in terms of net income. Now, here's the killer. These numbers are all subject for verification, just like what happened at AFSLAC. The AFP fund were all stolen several decades ago, because all the numbers that they presented to the media years back in the 1980s, early 1990s, were all fictitious. And I'm telling you right now, tumechempo lang yan si Rodolfo Del Rosario Jr. And to Mr. Rodolfo Del Rosario Jr., please make a public statement if you are related to the number one crook in the Philippine history by the name of Ben Del Rosario, Executive Vice President under Roman Cruz from 1967, well, effective 1966 to 1981, where more than 100 to 600 million US dollars were robbed from the Philippine Treasury in the name of the Gsis Treasury, Government Services Insurance System. Ninakaw taon-taon ni Ben Del Rosario ang laman, ang kaban ng pensyon ng mga empleyado ng gobyerno ng Republika ng Pilipinas. At inilagay niya sa Bank of America. Ilagay niya sa Bank of America. And up to now, ladies and gentlemen, not even one dime, 1 second of jail were experienced by the family of Ben Del Rosario. At lumapit sa akin si Roberto Tirona Del Rosario nung nasa Pilipinas ako bago ko umalis para sa Estados Unidos. At ang sabi ba naman sa akin, namatay na daw ang kanyang ama, si Dr. Del Rosario. Sabi ko, anong kinalaman ko dyan? Minura mo na nga ako kumakain lang ako dyan ano pangalan nito? Yung tropical hamburger. That was in 1998. Sinigawan pa ako. At sinabi niya, umalis ka dito sa Makati, teritoryo ng mga Del Rosario ito. And I'm telling you right now, tumechempo lang yan mga Del Rosario na yan. If Rodolfo Del Rosario Jr. is related with that #1 Filipino crook in the history of the Philippines by the name of Ben Del Rosario, tumechempo lang yan para nakawin na lahat ulit yung $35 billion na nakalaan sa Philippine Treasury. And I would like to request Rodolfo Del Rosario to make a public statement today kung siya ba ay related. Kadugo ba niya si Ben Del Rosario, dating GSIS EVP? Sapagkat magkakatuos tayo. Okay? Magkakaalaman kung sino talaga ang tunay ang magdanakaw. Na tinitira dito ang dating PCGG chairman, Andy Bautista Jr. At ang ama ko, Andy Bautista Sr. Okay? Nang nagbigay ulit ng pera sa kaban ng bayan to the tune of about $4 billion US dollars. Na galing sa kayamanan ni Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at ni Imelda Romualdez Marcos. At ngayon, nandun siya, tinitira ngayon, hanggang ngayon, na kumuha daw siya ng pera sa COMELEC, which, according to the wife, that I think is related to a certain executive of Procter & Gamble. Kasi tinitira rin ako dito ng PNG. Okay? Nakumuha daw siya ng $1 billion. Ngayon, alam ko magkano na lang? 1 million na lang. Nandun, nagtatawaran ngayon. So I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the pension of the employees, government employees of the Philippine government. Sapagkat mismo ang ama ko, pinagtatawanan kami. Huwag ka nang magmalinis dyan, Andy Bautista Sr. At nung hindi niya tinanggap yung lagay. Ano nangyari sa kanya? Sinibak siya kagad after 1 week. And it is very sad that there are so many inept government employees that you have to practically carry them from their seat because they not only robbed the Philippines billions of dollars, but they are so inept. At ang sabi nga ni Curly Discaya, I'd rather talk to a foreman. Gusto kong kausapin yung foreman kasi may diskarte sa paggawa ng mga daan, paggawa ng mga tulay at iba pa. Hindi ako makikinig sa mga engineer. May mga pinag-aralan na yan, yung mga nag-aral ng engineering, mga masyadong mabola yan. Daldal ng daldal, pero hindi naman alam ang ginagawa. Parang ganun ang kanyang pinapalabas ni Curly Discaya. He was ridiculing civil engineering concepts. And look at the results. Look at the results. This is probably the worst in the history of the Philippines and the worst in Southeast Asia. We are not only the laughingstock of Southeast Asia, but the world. So who wants to invest in the Philippines? Not a single soul. All because it all started, and history will prove this. Alam ni Jaime Zobel de Ayala yan. Alam ng dating dakilang negosyante by the name of Mr. John Gokongwei yan. Alam ni Henry C. yan, ng dating Henry C. Alam ng mga Yuchenko yan, the great Al Yuchenko. Alam ng mga Tiyan, the patriarch of Metrobank, which started from nothing, and look at them now. They know how corrupt Ben Rosario is. At kayo, nandun na naman, chairman pa daw ng GSIS. So, you have the chance right now, Mr. Rodolfo de Rosario Jr. Are you related to the number one Filipino crook of all time by the name of Ben de Rosario? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to be very clear. We are open 24/7 because the Philippines might declare bankruptcy, the whole government. Because kung siya ay related kay Ben de Rosario, 100%, ladies and gentlemen, tsume-tsempo lang yan. Tuma-timing lang yan. Together with, anong pangalan ito? Wick, Veloso, de Rosario. Na nagkamali daw siya sa stock picking. Give me a break. I never made a mistake with my stock picking, ladies and gentlemen. I never. In my history in business, for nearly 38 years, I have never lost a single dollar. Not even $1. I never fooled my investors. Not a single dollar. Because my father always said, if you make a mistake there, you're a criminal. And that should be returned back to the investors. Nawalan daw ng 8 billion according to the newspapers. 8.8 billion ang GSIS. These are already the cracks. And if KPMG and very reputable global accounting firms like Ernst & Young will audit the books of the Gsis of the Philippines, then and only then will we determine kung nagkanakawan na naman. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will make sure that this broadcast will be all over the world. And I can assure you that Mr. Ralph Recto, the DOF Secretary, in the name of one of the greatest Filipino statesmen of all time, Claro Emerecto, which is one of the idols of my grandfather, my father, and so forth and so on, and even my own idol. I tell you right now, Secretary Recto, I can turn around the GSIS. I can turn around the worthless central bank policies of your current central bank governor. Worthless. And if I don't achieve the objectives, I will immediately resign. Hindi mo na ako kailangan kargahin pa, Ralph. Secretary Recto, para umalis dyan, you know. I will immediately, out of delicadeza, directo, claro emerecto, at ako'y magre-resign. Because right now, they're not achieving the objectives. In fact, it's a joke. And that's why the investors, yung mga investor dito sa Estados Unidos, sa Canada, sa Mexico, takot na takot. Because you do not manage your businesses, your departments, based on objectives. Puro kumpadre ito ni malakas kay alam mo na kung sino yun. Pag malakas, di malakas. Ano magagawa mo, di ba? Makikinig ka na naman kay Managat. Yung mga konsepsyon, yan. Kasi malakas daw kay Jan. Look at them now. Kung sino pinakikinggan ni Joey. Mga gunggong. Walang alam at walang hiya. Mga bastos. Who do not know what delicadeza is all about. And that's why, look at the results. And that's why when you look at the stock market, which is still the #1 barometer of confidence in management, in the executive management, look at the numbers of PLDT kay Manny Pangilinan. Up to now, it's still not bad. I think the latest number right now is about $20 and change. Look at the other companies. You don't even want to look at it because, like San Miguel, it's not even $1. It's cents. And it's not even listed. Not even listed. For crying out loud. For the last 100 years. Or more than a century. It's not even listed in the most prestigious stock market in the world. The New York Stock Exchange. And here comes yung mga, I will not mention the names, that they are so-called experts in the field of projecting stock market values. I am shocked the way they lie on the air. Because at the end of the day, it is all about results. And to Wick, Veloso, de Rosario, you cannot apologize to the, oh my God, the so poor government employees, the poorest of the poor. Wala na nga, napakalit na nga yung punyetang pension na yan. And sasabihin mo pa, well, we made a mistake on the stock pick of this year, this quarter. 8.8 billion in value. Para sa mga police, para sa mga government clerks, para sa mga government managers, para sa mga government executives. And the peso continues to sink. Because every time you spend the Filipino peso, bago ka kumuha na naman ng salapi ng piso mo, it is less than 740%. 720% 6 months ago, ngayon nasa 740, 750%, na dapat ang piso mo ay may halaga ng 720 to 740%. All because of Ben Del Rosario. Saan nag-umpisa ng gulong ito? Way back in 1967, 68, 69, 70 hanggang 1981. And the peso kept on sinking and sinking in value. And by the way, even Brian Moynihan, the current CEO of Bank of America, checked. Chinek niya kung naglagay ng pera ang grupo ni Roman Cruz during that time sa Bank of America. And I'm not lying here. These are all based on facts. Historical facts ito. At kami ngayon ang pinagtatawanan. Ang tatay ko, si Attorney Andres Bautista Sr., pinagtatawanan kasi nga, up to now, hindi niya makuha ang kanyang pensyon sa GSIS. Bakit? Kasi hindi nagnakaw! Kasi hindi nagnakaw! Because my father did not rob the Philippine Gsis treasury. Alam niya niyan, Roberto Tiruna de Rosario. Pinagtatawanan niya ako. He was a batchmate of mine at the Ateneo de Manila University, from prep to college. Pinagtatawanan niya kami. Because in the Philippines, it is a standard to become corrupt like Ben Del Rosario. And if you are not corrupt, you will get fired. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the facts. The question now is, when will the GSIS treasury will be robbed again? Because this video alone, I have to put it right now on YouTube because it is very clear that certain elements might destroy again this particular video. It is so sad. But the fact remains that if DOF Secretary Ralph Recto will rely on the current central bank governor and the current GSIS team, I guarantee you, the peso will sink by the day. Right now, it's at 59 and change, going 60. 63 is my prediction by first quarter of next year. And if this will continue, and there are no auditing firms like KPMG, Ernst & Young, I guarantee you, the peso will balloon all the way to 70 by the end of next year. And before you know it, the peso will be probably the worst currency in Southeast Asia and probably the world. Not even 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second did Ben Del Rosario go to jail. Not even 1 second. Not even 1 second did Ben the Rosario go to jail because he got all the loot? Pinagparti-partihan niya ng kanyang pamilya. Nothing. So all this sarsuela happening right now at the DPWH, I can already tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if there will be no force coming from the private sector or the military to get back the 43 billion, 30 billion from the DPWH and about 13 billion in other departments, consider it gone. I'm telling you right now, consider it gone. Sarsuela nga lang, sabi nga ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos, parang sarsuela lang ito. And it's very sad that my brother is suffering right now. And they were even ridiculing him as, a Harvard scholar that did not even implement it in the Philippines. Just like Curly Discaya ridiculing the engineers. You mean to say a Harvard graduate is the same with what you have in the department heads right now? For example, Rodolfo de Rosario. In other words, who is better? Who can deliver more? Who can achieve more for the Philippine government? Juan Andres Bautista or Rodolfo de Rosario? Or ipagsama mo na lahat, sabi nga. Because the net effect is what? A loss of 8 billion and counting. Yung kay Andy, at least nakakuha siya ng 4 billion collectively sa PCGG at pinaganda niya ang Commission on Elections not only in the Philippines but the whole Southeast Asia and the whole of Asia, including Mongolia. And I will give you my success story in America. What I did for America, what I did for Procter & Gamble, what I did for Johnson & Johnson, and the list goes on. At malaman ng buong bayan kung sino talaga nagsasabi ng totoo at kung sino ang nagsisinungaling. Binobola lang kayo ng mga putang inang yan. Those son of a bitches are just fooling you day by day. Pardon the strong language, but at the rate things are going, the Philippines will go bankrupt anytime soon. Why? Because of the De Rosario! Nag-umpisa lahat dyan. Before you know it, it's gone. Kaya lahat ng negosyante na magaling nandito na sa Estados Unidos. Si Ayala nandito. Si Kokongwei nandito. Si CSY, May mga kasing maraming ngayon dito, negosyante. But this is the family of Henry C., the late Henry C. It's here. The T family, TY of Metrobank is here. And the list goes on. The list goes on. Why? Because of the credibility of Gavin D. Bautista. Because of the business wisdom, decision-making power, connections of Gavin Bautista. Gavin Bautista is the numero uno, trusted business advisor by all of these billionaires, including in the United States. And I can prove that in the court of law. I'm not lying here. Not like the other people in CNN and other newspapers in the United States that lie. As I said, if I am caught lying, I will close this down first thing tomorrow morning. Unlike the other stations, they lie and lie. And they're still there. Para mga de Rosario, nandun pa rin. Mga sinungaling yan, mga magnanakaw yan. Nandun pa rin. Kailangan mong kargahin sa silya para umalis. So ladies and gentlemen, you have my number, 405-503-8511. You can give me a call anytime because we're going to rock and roll before the end of the year. Because at the Prosperity Channel, we make you rich. To my friends in the Philippines, you have a chance. You still have a chance. By believing in the systems, I'm going to propose again to DOF Secretary Ralph Recto. And to all my fans in Japan, in Malaysia, in Thailand, I'll be there very soon. Because I know that you want a person that can make sure your businesses will be properly established here in the United States. I know some people already went there, but I already know that you are not happy again, especially my friends in Sokor. I'm talking about South Korea. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for all your kind words with the many, many congratulatory remarks that I got for the last couple of months, because it is very clear that the more you listen to the Prosperity Channel, the more wealthy you become. Thank you. Good evening, but it is only afternoon here, about 4 o'clock, about 4:16 here in Oklahoma City. This is the Central Time. This is your business connection, your trusted business advisor, Gavin Bautista, signing off, and see you soon. And I can promise you, we are finally going to get into a set that will make this regular to answer all of your questions and all of your issues regarding the stock market, the bond market, the real estate market, and the new procedures, policies that you can immediately internalize in your business systems. My Viber number, my US cell phone is 405-503-8511, and my email address is at superdeals. That's with a plural S, superdeals1494@gmail.com. Thank you, good evening, and I will see you soon.